So how I'm going to start, I've already trimmed that down. And I'm going to look for a straight section here. And what I want to do is, I want to cut at a 45 first. So I'm going to cut this off at a 45. And I'm going to split this here in a few. So I want to make sure in the area I'm splitting there's no knots. I had just cut that off, there was a knot there. So the length of my upright stick, I cut on a 45 this way. I want to cut across this way, opposite of this one, to get the height of my stick. So I want about that far right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that just opposite of what I just cut. So I'll put it on this side, make sure that's like that, and I'll just cut it on a 45 again. There we go. Now we have a stick that's like this. Now what I'm going to do is make a 7 notch. So I'm just going to take my saw and cut straight down, about halfway. And then what I can do is just gently bend this and split this up through. Just like that. I just split that up through. Now that I've got that split up like this, I can take my knife and put this on a 45 as well. Right like that. Now that's on a 45. And now when I put it in here, I have like a 7 notch. And what that allows is for when this trips open, it's not going to stick as much. It's going to fold down like this and spring out. What I want to do with this, since I have to put my bait stick on here, is I want to square this off. And how I'm going to do that is with my knife. Now what I'm going to do is just hold these together, or you can do one at a time, but I just want to have these flat across here. So I'm just going to put a little flat spot like this, and then on each of, like this back side here, I want to flatten that off as well. So I have a nice flat spot right here. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one on the back side. I'm going to put a nice square spot on that as well. What I have is a nice flat spot here, and flat on this side. Now I'm ready to make my bait stick. I'm going to use this part right here. I'm just going to cut this off. Right like that. And what I have to do with this is I've got to flatten one side. Just a little bit like that. It doesn't have to be a lot. And now I'm going to lay that flat side right here opposite of my 7 notch against that flat spot, and I'm going to mark that right across, because that is where I've got to cut this out to become a trigger stick. I'm just going to shove that in my pocket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to saw on those lines. I don't have to go that really far down, 1/4 of an inch. Be plenty, be good. Now I've sawed this down this way and this way. I'm just going to put my blade in there and pop that out. And just going to flatten that out a little better. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to put my 7-notch down in like that. It's flattened on this side, and I have my bait stick right here. You lift up your top log, and you want to put your 7-notch out, and it's like this here, so your bait stick's going to set out from your logs, not right underneath of it. You can use this for multiple different types of deadfall traps, but for this one, you put it like this. The bait stick sticks out, that way the animal comes up and reaches out here trying to grab the bait, knocking this off. It comes down, gets across their back and pins them. So I'm going to take this, and this side here, I have 3 sides flattened, and like I said, I have those 290s. This fits right over top of those 3 flattened sides, keeping it all nice and flat. And that's what holds it. So I'm going to grab that like that, pick this up, and set it like that. It's off a little bit right there, but even that would work. Now if something triggered that, reached out and grabbed it, it comes down. I'm going to set that up again, and a little bit straighter this time. It was off to the side a little bit, but still, as you see, it would have been effective. I'm going to try that again. You can also hold this like this. Put it in here, get it set where you want, and then put your trigger system or bait stick on, and you're good to go. You can either put it either side, that's up to you, but there you go. That's how easy it is. Works very effectively. And what they also did was they'd put a string on these 2 parts here, just so when they do, trigger, the pieces don't go flying into the deep snow and you lose them. That's having to make a new trap. So they would actually put a piece of twine or something that when these trigger, they'd usually either fall off to the side, but they'll still be together, easier to find, or they'll just hang down on the lower log. So it's a very effective trap, and it's been proven, so they still use it. Trappers are still out there in the Taiga region using this trap. Now, a lot of people wanted to know how this worked, so I hope this helps and how to set this up. I just came out here, made this really quick to share, and there it is. And they also used to have a hood, 2 poles that go to the ground, or you can tie them up to another pole, whatever you like. But they'd have 2 poles over here, out over top, and they'd fill that with brush. So any snow or debris or anything like that there would come down, land on that hood, adding more weight to your top pole, and keeping anything from hitting your trigger system and setting it off. There you go. Thanks for watching.